of all the things that we could say about heaven and what it is, and all the scriptures that are so beautiful about all the promises of heaven, this to me is at the heart of what it is to be in paradise. Can you imagine that you are truly free to grow, to learn, to develop, and most of all, free to enjoy relationship with others without having that little awful nagging suspicion that at any moment I could be rejected. If you've ever had a moment where you've been able to be totally 100% transparent with someone because you trusted them and you found out that they loved you despite all of your fears or concerns that they wouldn't. If you've tasted of that, I mean, even for a moment, if you've tasted that in a friendship, or if you've tasted that in a marriage, if you've tasted that in a parent-child relationship, you know that that is heavenly. It is heaven on earth. If we could live in relationships where we could be real, where we could grow, we could share. We were made for one another. We weren't made to be alone. If we could not spend our energy hiding, if we could spend our energy instead enjoying and growing, that is heaven. And as long as we're on this earth, we're not going to get it perfectly like Adam and Eve had, but I sure want every day of my life, I want to be growing closer to it, don't you?
I'm Alan Wright, and it'll be my pleasure to be with you at one of our Free Yourself, Be Yourself conferences. Every time that we do the conference, wherever we are in the world, the same thing happens. People begin to see the truth of the gospel and how grace can replace our feelings of shame.
A few things that really stuck out to me, both in the book and then during the time last night and this morning. One of them is the fact that we try to deal with the symptoms and we never get at the root of the problem. And for so much of my life, I've been trying to be better and correct the symptoms and never realized what was causing the symptoms, and one of those things being shame. So that has been very freeing.
We'll also dig into a workbook and have some hands-on learning where you can systematically start discovering where you've believed things that were shaped by shame and replace them by the truth of the gospel about who you really are in Christ. I want you to know you can feel comfortable. We'll laugh some, we might cry a little bit, but it's a safe environment. Nobody's put on the spot. Everybody gets to learn and grow at their own pace. But through it all, the same thing happens to all of us. We are impacted by the gospel of grace.
The more that you think you wouldn't want to go to this conference would be inversely proportional to how much you should go. Because I think when people hear the concept of shame, or they have to sort of confront the self-notion that maybe I'm struggling with who I am and why I'm here and what my purpose is, that then you really belong here.
By the end of the conference, everybody says the same thing. Regardless of where they are in their own spiritual journey or their own place of healing, they all say that the grace of God has changed their lives. I sure hope I get to see you at one of our Free Yourself, Be Yourself conferences.